Well, last Tuesday, I went to Soldier, Kansas to an agritourism workshop. And some of the information I got there is in front of you. I made copies of it. The Power of Travel in Kansas. Well, this is some of the statistics. Tourism is a $9.8 billion total impact to the state of Kansas. Agritourism is a portion of that, and they don't even really have a way to track that as of yet. Agritourism can be anything from alpaca farms, cattle drives, prairie fire festivals, Symphony on the Prairie, guest farms, farm tours, outdoor recreation and education, garden operations, orchards, pumpkin patches, hunting lodges, wedding barns, and yes, even my goats. The total economic impact of agriculture in Lincoln County, there was a nice little deal in the Wakanda Trader here a while back, if I can find it, that stated that the agriculture impact to the county is $1,902,765. That's the total economic impact. That includes all the money spent on agriculture. And this is minus the ag tourism. These estimated dollars, some of the data is missing because people don't fill out their ag census. This is according to 2015 statistics provided by the Farm Bureau. Now, in Mitchell County, they had a total impact of like $400 million, and that's because they have Caricos, they have Sunflower, and they have the Botec, and then they also have Great Plains. But all that is included in economic impact for the county. Now, hunting lodges are a big draw. We all know that. And I know farmers and ranchers who lease out their land, who use their own homes to lodge these people, or they even have hunting lodges. Guest farms and ranches, dude ranches, trails and cattle drives. Flying W Ranch down in Chase County, they started in 2000. Every weekend they have a trail drive because it draws people. And these people are paying $1,000 a weekend to come in and stuff like that. Now, this, like I said, this number does not include ag tourism. So, the average person coming through Kansas spends $347. That's on the average. The longer they're here, the more they spend. Okay, orchards, veggie farms, farm markets, wedding barns, special events like the Symphony on the Prairie, Prairie Festival. These are things that we could do in this county. You know, have the high school bands come and do something. But now, Ash Grove Goat Ranch. We do goat therapy education. We're going to start stargazing with goats in August. You can come out and play with the goats and then do the meteor showers. I'm going to be pulling from people from cities. Then come out and be a goat farmer for a day, and goat watching parties are a big draw. Now this can be a big economic thing, agritourism in Lincoln County. But the big problem is getting to these things. Now I know you guys get tired of me harping on stuff, but we can do a lot more with agritourism if we paid attention to what's going on out in the county. You know, just like Steve Schneider's operation. That's going to draw thousands to the county. Mine only is going to do about hundreds for a while. Once it gets going, it'll draw thousands because I'm eventually going to have guest housing there. So people can stay, play, get away from it all. But the county has to provide the infrastructure for anything to happen in the county. Now you think about this, that's a big hunk of money. And, you know, agritourism, I can have a lady from agritourism come out here and talk about agritourism, explain how beneficial this could be to the county. It's nothing to laugh at. I know people laughed at me about me starting my goat grazing business. My goat grazing business is actually agritourism because I do go to other sites, but people come to me for the goat watching parties. They come from other areas. People My customers invite people in. Oh, I'm having a goat watching party. I had one person come from Missouri to watch. There was another person that came all the way from New York just for this goat watching party. Now, it sounds crazy, but it's simple, it's relaxing. People are finding things in agriculture that is a draw. They've been so removed from it, it has become a novelty. There's no reason why we can't capitalize on this in Lincoln County. We've got a lot of farmers and ranchers. David Wacker's got a heck of a bird farm out there. I know I worked at the Game Bird Hatchery up in Tifton. Dawn and Virginia do tours in there all the time. They're registered with the Department of Tourism, and you know, everybody says, oh, well, it's a liability issue. No, well, there is some to it. However, a couple of things you need to know. Get my paper here. Back in 2004, the Agritourism Promotional Act was signed into law in the state of Kansas. And in the citation of this act, it says this act may be cited as the Agritourism Promotion Act. It's 32-1430, and then it goes on through there. And they do have a limited liability if you sign up. If the operation is signed up, they do fall under this Protection Act for the limited liability in agriculture. One of the things that they do have to do, and you've probably seen this at rodeo grounds, you have the limited liability signage that you have to put up if you're going to, and it is the law to be, if you're going to have a tourism thing, you need to sign up with the state of Kansas. You fall under the liability, you put these signs up, and that partially protects you. And usually some agricultural, or most agricultural insurances this will help you with, you know, your rates not being so high. Sue Stringer is the lady who is the agritourism promotion gal. I've got her phone numbers and stuff if you'd like that information. But there is no reason why.
In Topeka?
Yes, in Topeka. Here's her numbers. And you get registered with them. It's free to register. You get a 5-year certificate that has to be filled out every 5 years. It's a free certificate, but you're registered. And then they give you your own little website within their website and they'd like for you to put pictures and what you do. And you just list the activities that you're on there, and when you add activities to your operation, you know, then that adds, when you add it and update your website information on there, and they will add on to their records what you do for the activities. That puts you under that liability protection. Now, that doesn't completely protect you. If somebody's going to sue you, they're going to try to sue you, whatever. But ag tourism is growing. The Flying W Ranch, like I said, started in 2000, and I've known these people for years, and they've gone a long way with. They do the Prairie Fire Festival. Of course, they couldn't do it, you know, when it was so dry. But now they're. I think this coming Saturday they're going to have a big festival. But they burn different sections of the ranch. They have an extensive ranch. Some of you probably heard of the Symphony on the Prairie. That started out, and we used to laugh when I lived in Chase County years ago. Yeah, we're going to get a bunch of yahoos out there who don't know nothing about the farming and ranching, but they're learning. They're coming out, they're experiencing agriculture, and they're doing something that is culturally stimulating. But they've even gone so far as to put out these fancy tents, air-conditioned tents with a refrigerator and all this stuff, so that people can camp out on the prairie. You know, not the normal cowboy thing, but they are paying $5,000 a night to do the camping out on the prairie so they can hear the coyotes. There's no reason why people can't set things up. Wedding barns, that is the big thing. Steve Schneider's going to have a wedding in his lodge before long. People getting married and having these, people, they're looking for these kind of outlets and venues. The Pendleton Country Market, just east of Lawrence, I happened to go to the Call Valley Farm Tour. That's a major thing. There's over 32 farms that are involved in that. People go to the weekend and do the tours. I participated in that. I took my goats there. They wanted the goats there so people could see them. And they had a pond area that needed the weeds worked. Ran out of weeds for the goats, so we had to fence off another area. And so I didn't have enough fence to it and around it, so I said, okay, human fence. The people went crazy. You make a human fence, the dogs work them in. They want me back. Before the first day was over, they wanted me back for this next year. And I promised baby goats this next year. And everybody knows what a baby goat can do for a person. It's just amazing. That's why I do goat therapy. Have one particular goat that is going to be doing the goat therapy tour this year with whoever. I can go into nursing homes. I can do hospitals if I get a request for that. I haven't got the certification on that, but if the family wants me to come in as a family member and bring their therapy animal, I can do that. The education, people come in and learn about goats. These goats are amazing. They provide meat, mohair, milk, and chemical-free weed control. Control, not elimination, but control. I found out those goat watching parties are a big thing. I can do benefits with that. I can raise money for counties doing special events or nonprofits that want to do anything. That kind of a thing is a big deal. But agriculture has this outlet. I would say, this is just Lincoln County. I'm betting the hunting and the fishing, I'm betting a minimum of $10,000 more. Minimum. Because I know some of these guys that come in, they spend $300 or $400 a night just at the liquor store. So, what are they going to do for food? They're going to have food. You know, it's not like contained up at the Ringneck Ranch. They're going to have to come to get something. I think there's at least 4 outfitters in Lincoln County. Nobody's tracking this information. I can guarantee.
Where does that number come from?
This number comes from the Kansas Farm Bureau, and they got that information from the National, what was that? National Statistics. And that was in the Wakanda Trader here, how many weeks ago was that? A couple of weeks, Dwight?
About a month ago.
Yeah, about a month ago. And I don't know where my paper went to. I just had it. But it was that full-out spread that had the breakdown of Brooks County, Mitchell County, and where did it go? Here it is. And some of that statistics was from 2015, some of it was more current, but this is what was in the Wakanda Trader. And that's how we stacked up. Brandon Worth, he told me that they got it from the National Ag Statistics. It's called NASS, I think. And this is voluntary census data. So, and this is data taken every 5 years. But when you compare, Mitchell County had 497,993,665 versus Lincoln County there. Then Jewell County had 180 million. Osborne had 149 million. Phillips 211. So, and like Dwight even admitted, he didn't fill out his census. But that's what some of this census stuff is. Shame. I never even got mine. I never even got a census data. So, we've got an economic impact here in the county. The roads, I can have people coming in all year round. I've got baby goats kidding out. I kid out in the wintertime. People love to come out on a nice sunny day to see baby goats. I had a couple of ladies come out, not Sunday, but the week before. Of course, I've got people coming and buying my baby goats. I got 4-H'ers coming out. I've got school groups, had homeschool groups come out and visit. Of course, everybody knows petting zoos, and they bring in a lot of draw for a lot of different things. But when you sit down and think about it, I know we've got a game bird farm. I know we've got a couple of different people raising game birds here in the county. And some of them are for their own deal. I know Sorensen's, they have a bed and breakfast type deal that they can have hunters come in. Farmers markets are even considered ag tourism. People just, well, garden here in town, you know, people coming and having a farmer's market. So these types of things, I mean, there's no reason with this being an agriculture county that we can't do this stuff, and that, but, you know, like for David, for me, for Steve, the infrastructure's got to be there so that people who don't know how to drive on country roads, when it gets slimy, and they want to come, and they're going to come regardless of how it is. I know this stargazing with the goats is going to be something I'm going to take RSVPs for. I'm going to draw people from Salina, probably going to draw people from Wichita. I don't know how many people I'm going to have, but I've starting getting the information out. I may have a flop, but there's several people from the cities that I've talked to have stated they would love to come out and stargaze out on my farm because we don't have any lights. And, you know, we got to be able to have good roads. We got to be able to have signage. You don't know how many times I've had to go to 181 Highway to pick them up, bring them. They can't figure out because there's no sign on Union and 181 that says Union Drive. It's gone. Even the Spillman Cemetery sign's gone. And I have to go up there and sit and wait. Then they have to follow me in. There's no sign at Ash Grove that says 80th in Union. There's no sign at Vine. And that's what makes people find things. Other than me having to put signs up every so often, or a goat, you know, tie a goat along the road, or put a sign out there. You know, that kind of thing. I've had people come from as far away as Oklahoma to look at my goats and buy goats. So, but to have them come in and where are you at? I've had people come in from Mitchell County, and I have to say, well, Mitchell County, I can't remember what the number is right off the bat, but I'll drive up there and find it out. I say, you get it on that road, and you go X amount of miles. I said, and you get X amount of miles, you look over to the east, and you see a big barn and a silo on top of the hill. That's where we're at. There's no signage. So think about it, the economic impact. There was 34.8 million visitors to Kansas last year. Last year. That's the total of Texas, Nebraska, and Missouri residents. 92,698 jobs, tourism employment impact. It's over 4% of the employment in the state of Kansas. Now, travel spending has grown 5.7% since 2009. The statistics I pulled off of the internet, and I think I may have sent them to you, about tourism. Lincoln County has a 1.3% decrease. And that was 2015 statistics, and that was from the Department of Tourism. So, tourism, whether you like it or not, I mean, yeah, people come and see the historical stuff, but not everybody's interested in history. They'd more or less come to something like that and then visit something historical, or go out to a historical farm. Eventually, I don't know what all I'm going to do with the farm, but once we get things organized out there, Bob's agreed to do the guest farm thing. We're just going to do this in many steps, but we're doing certain things. But I do the therapy all the time, do the education all the time. The goat watching parties I can be on there. I did a goat watching party over till. But I mean, the people get crazy about this. They serve goat cheese and a wine called Goats Do Rome, and it's crazy. Everybody laughs at it, but it's money. And you know, everybody laughs about me, but I make $350 a day. Some days I don't even work 4 hours when I'm out on the road with the goats doing this agritourism stuff. So there's money to be made, but we got to have infrastructure. And that's all I got to say, folks.
Thank you.
If you got any questions, you'd like to come out and see the goats, I have a very special little goat named Teacup. She sees my teeny tiny thing that was barely big enough to be considered a goat, so, but, you know, this ag tourism is growing. It's getting bigger every year. They're having more and more workshops, and Sue Stinger can come out and do an agritourism educational workshop if you would like. All we gotta do is call her, and she can come do it. But it's something that we need to look at as a county for the future. Besides everything else we've been looking at, we need to find a way to draw people to the county. Agritourism is the way to do it.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I believe we still have minutes to do.
We didn't do it? I thought we did.
No, we never did get them approved. We worked on them, but we never approved them.
Did we finally get to a point where everybody's happy with it?
Well, I don't think it was really said exactly what we were thinking. I adjusted and said provided the surveys and results of the personal survey of the highway department employees, it was completed as department head meeting, so we can take personal out now that we know it's an open record.
Well, I don't care about that part, I mean, I definitely formulated it. What I'm saying needs to be added is that the actual surveys were provided, they were not inspected.
I just added that, provided the surveys and results.
Okay, the surveys went uninspected by the board.
That's up to them to say.
Well, I didn't.
I would
didn't
normally
feel the need
put
to
whether or
inspect
not
them,
the
you
inspect
gave us the results, but
Well, the other question I had about the minutes was under correspondence, you only had one item, and we had about four. And for the life of me, I can't remember.
I had two. Melissa Gilfort, Hill 38, the same aging and that's all I had.
Okay, there was another one, at least one,
Kathy
about
Nelson
the
provided,
nursing home.
Kathy Nelson provided a letter to the commission, but it was not read.
Was that the only other one?
The only other one I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, that would be my question as to how we're going to proceed with agenda and such. I mean, is it,
I normally wouldn't list that because we would normally pass it around except for the fact that we read it out loud. So, I mean, that's just normal correspondence that doesn't require action.
no, but I'm just, I mean, like we have, did you guys get this letter too? I mean, we had another correspondence today, so I'm kind of wondering, you know, what's going to be our protocol, because when we get correspondence, are we reading it aloud? I mean, technically the minutes should be read aloud too, you know, in a meeting, that's typically how you do it, reading aloud when it's group change, whatever. But like we got another correspondence, this is the second handwritten correspondence about the nursing home. So I'm wondering,
you know, if you start reading all the correspondence aloud, there's gonna be days it's gonna go on and on and on and on.
so then the question becomes, do we list it or not? Because some of these things seem to disappear. I mean, we've had discussions in here about how, well, if it wasn't an action or it wasn't recorded in the minutes, then it was, you know, didn't happen in the history of it. So, you know, when this person calls in and says, I specifically gave da-da-da-da-da, where do we find that? Because, Dawn, are you required to hold on to this kind of stuff?
Technically, if I put it in the minutes, yes, I should, but, you know, I don't always get those things back. It's kind of like the inventory. I brought it down several weeks ago, and I don't know where the inventory's at until I saw you have it today. I realized that you must have taken it home,
What?
the inventory.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was this just for inspection?
Yes.
I apologize. I didn't realize that. Let me set that out before I forget.
So it's hard because I don't necessarily always know.
Okay. Well,
And we don't have to put it used to be Doris, had in the minute, I think that she just had like, approved minutes and open correspondence. But then she never detailed anything, but since he read it aloud, I felt like I needed to say that.
I understand that. But I'm saying, like, for this letter, you know, there's a letter here basically endorsing John Grease and his proposal from former residents of Lincoln, Kansas, who claim to personally know this man. So I would say that in a decision that is as serious and extensive as what we're going to consider, that would be something very important. I mean, I'm not sure how you perceive this, but, you know, if this just goes by the wayside, then any written complaint about a road or another situation can go by the wayside as well, which we've experienced with people sitting here telling us, made a phone call that was ignored, there was paperwork thrown away for whatever reason about certain things. So I'm not sure, but this is a continual problem that we need to figure out.
I guess it depends on the correspondence. Some things together are several pages long, and there's just, for instance, North Central Kansas One Hills on Aging, they did not send out that bill, pages long.
Now, could the, like the shorter ones like that letter, could that be read out loud where it has a very pertaining message to a very large issue in the county right now, where like the stuff you get monthly from like the North Central Hills, could maybe that be summarized?
Right, yeah, I mean, it could say, when we received regular correspondence from North Central Hills Area Agency on Aging, because they do regularly send things. I mean, I don't know, Mr. Chairman, is there a reason that you chose to read certain correspondence?
Yes, I chose to read it because there was an election of the Silver Hills Legislature, and I wanted the commission, informing the commission how that election went, and that's why I read it.
Okay, and the Central Kansas Library.
Until I forgot what it was about, but it was.
Oh, God, that wasn't even.
I don't remember that.
Mental health, sorry.
Oh, yeah, mental health.
Okay, so there's a,
Yeah.
It was regarding changing the bylaws,
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, they changed their bylaws,
Oh, yeah.
sorry about that, yeah.
So are these letters kept in a file then?
Normally, if they come to me, yes, I'll normally file them with whatever, so like Central Kansas Mental Health, I have a file on them, and that would bring.
So a person would probably be better off if they sent two letters, one for the clerk's file and the other one for the commissioners.
well, what I'm getting at
A
is
lot of
when,
times when people present, they try to tell us to bring 4 copies, because I have a copy, so we don't have to give up their copy.
what I'm getting at though is what if we receive 18 letters of endorsement? Doesn't that hold weight in a decision when people are taking the time to have written correspondence addressed to the county commissioners?
I guess you could say Cheryl and,
I mean, I can put that,
Valid
but
point.
this is this week's.
yeah.
But last week was a letter of recommendation as well for the proposal.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Okay, well, it was a handwritten one that was sitting on the commissioner's table, and then we brought it down here when we started, but we never did read it.
You can just say, received correspondence from Cheryl and Joe Givator, Porter John Grace or something.
You said the other was from Patty, you said no.
Yep.
You know,
I'm not sure it was an endorsement of Grace, it was an endorsement of the nursing home, I think it opened late.
Klaus, Klaus.
She wanted to get on the process.
Well, it did say about.
It mentioned him, but
the
it-
proposal.
We used to be Governor Grace, right in here. She's from here. And he was, Governor Grace's right hand man was the Washington, with him, and Grace was the Washington. So she was right home.
uninspected, but the results, which I'm assuming, I mean, I read them aloud,
It's
so.
up to the other two, I wouldn't normally put that anything was unexpected, inspected or.
Well, number one, I read it down at the, I had the meeting, behind this copy.
No, we're talking about, she has to
I
now.
know, and I read what your questions were, I inspected your questions.
And we got
No, we're
maybe-
talking about the fact that she now has to maintain 23 slips of paper
I
as
know, she
public
does.
record. Yeah, that was the,
I just said, I mean, I
She
always
wants me
said,
to add
I
the
didn't
word.
feel the need to go through and recount them, if that was.
okay, fine, and that's fine. I'm just saying, I don't, when you put it in there as my personal survey, but it went uninspected, I'm not going to take on the liability that I misled any of the percentages. I did the math and calculated it, but they were available for inspection, which,
I don't know.
Do you have copies of that for the public?
I will gladly provide them. I do not have them with me now, so I apologize. That's fine, as long as you put in there that I had brought the surveys is what I'm saying, because now you're telling me that you've researched to see if it was a legal issue about having the actual paperwork, which I understand, I want to be completely legitimate.
Yeah, I didn't think about it till Aljo come in and said, I think that we need to put it in there that it was hers, so then that way it doesn't tie us and make us look like. And I think a concern that he had said that was given to him was that it could be construed as harassment towards the employees. And, so I said, we'll try to find out, but I will put that.
It's also brought to my attention by a lawyer that if we did not personalize it to you, it looked like it was commission business, and that I had participated in doing the survey and making the questions, and I had not.
And you were researching to see if that was harassment of employees to provide them a survey?
I didn't say I was researching.
It was brought to him.
It was brought to my
I
attention.
asked him.
I brought to my attention. I'm sorry, when things are brought to my attention concerning this commission, I'm probably going to seek legal advice.
So where did you seek your legal advice?
Huh?
Where did you seek your legal advice?
Seek my legal advice from county attorneys and from lawyers, my personal lawyers, in fact. I don't want to get caught,
So you
basically.
sought legal advice from the county attorney because
No, from
of
the county, no, from a personal lawyer. I have not seen the county attorney. She's not visited with her personally. And I only said that I wanted to make sure that since it was one commissioner, they did not feel that they were being attacked by one commissioner, or by all the commissioners, if this was one commissioner. It was not commission business, is what I was told by one of my lawyers. It's not commission business, it should have nothing to do with the commission. So, now that's what I got. And so therefore, I visited with Don a little about it and said we need to make sure that they do not read into it that the commission authorized this survey. They did
So
not.
what you did was ask Dawn to correct the minutes outside of a meeting.
I questioned what was written in the minutes. Yes, I did.
He asked me what I put in the minutes, and he broached his concern. I kind of agreed, I guess I hadn't thought of it that way. But it's,
Okay, so I will address everyone now and say that if there are corrections to the minutes, they can be made in an open session. If you choose to have these private conversations, that's on you. However, I'm not going to be told repeatedly that I can't get meetings with certain people unless it's in an open session and with all of us, that I can't provide surveys to employees, which we have a duty to protect and question to see what's going on within the county. I'm not going to accept any of that if you're not going to come to the table outwardly and openly, and then all of a sudden bring me, you're not going to do that, but you're going to bring me a corrected version of the minutes
I did not
based
correct
on
it.
your personal opinion. Yes, I got 2 copies of the minutes. One was the one that was first presented to me, and another one was later then corrected by you.
no, it was corrected by me too, when I realized that I was missing that motion for the nursing home.
That's fine,
I
but we're
didn't
not
catch
talking
that.
about the motion for the nursing home. I'm glad that you added that in. That's not my point
That-
of concern.
And
I think what she's saying is that was the corrected minutes,
Yes.
but the nursing home, she didn't have a motion for the nursing home and whether or not.
I have 2 copies of the
I
minutes right
did,
here,
and
from
I did
before and
change the
after.
survey. I did take change.
And And they are changed,
Because
so that means to me,
in when he was right, when I was fixing the other, he
Right.
came in.
and you're
And I
not
thought
here
that's
telling
what I
me
was-
that you came up with this by yourself, you're telling me that someone specifically asked you, which was one of the board members, to correct the minutes. And I'm here to say that in an open meeting, I have many times asked you to correct the minutes. I have never called you and asked you to correct them prior to us having the meeting. So now, which version goes in the paper?
The latest version is what went in the new one, the last version. But if we fix them, I can send them down to him.
Please just add that I did provide the physical results, and I don't care if you want to attribute them to me, I did come up with the survey, and it's not harassment of anyone. It's called doing your job for you and me. Can I ask a question?
No. We're in session. Is there any other corrections to these minutes so we can get them taken care of? I take a motion to, or shall I just have them approve myself? I can either have a motion to approve them, or I can approve them myself.
For a minute, is corrected.
I was second.
Been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 What else do we have come before this board, county commission?
I have a template for a traditional agenda, which we do not have to adopt, but I would like to just draw it to your attention as to a typical setup of you. And I know that Dawn, as clerk, which is acting secretary to the board, she did request that we change somehow, and I have requested in the past that we change somehow the agenda to formulate a more productive meeting. Now, like I said, there are 8 separate parts to this: roll call, changes to the agenda, minutes, correspondence, reports, old business, new business, question and comment. I know that Dawn's concern was question and comment section, open, public forum, which I highly endorse that as far as being a part of our process, but my suggestion was to have it at the end. I think originally Dawn said something about having it at the beginning. I'm open to however we need to change things, but I would like us to adopt a little bit more formal of a situation. I did put a note in there that if someone requires a specific appointment time, I know that the department heads have other things to do with their day. We can be in the middle or changing between, minutes, correspondence, reports, etc., and just push back the next item on the agenda until after that appointment time. However, I do feel that constantly filling our agenda with, 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30, that leads to a lot of open-ended indecisiveness. And I do feel that things such as the public hearings should be done in a more formal setting, if and when possible.
My only comment was that I think public comment and questions need to be at the beginning. I don't think we need to be having Monday morning quarterbacking of the business that we do during the day. We need to be questioned and after that. Otherwise, I don't see much difference in this. I find it a little difficult to find out how we're going to do whole business because I guess most of the stuff, like Steve Snyder, it's old business, but we keep dealing with it. I think we deal with old business all the time myself. Things we have to put off, when we think about it. So,
Well, part of that problem is when you don't assign a committee to take on a particular task, you are going to be receiving continual correspondence or business dealing with the same issues over and over. I mean, if you don't, just for example, the nursing home situation, if we don't have some kind of committee or appoint some kind of action through a group or one person so that they can report back, which would be under reports or committees, then you're dealing with the same thing. It's always open-ended until the next person schedules their appointment time. So that is that's indecisiveness on part of the county that we're dealing with the same issues over and over.
Another thing we deal in question and comments is that if you take those last, they're gonna be after we go. I would think the people would rather be heard before something's voted.
That's fine, we can do that right up there. So would you wanna do that before or after correspondence?
I would think we would start right with it myself.
So are you saying we wouldn't have scheduled times for people to come, so if we have a 4-hour meeting, people would need to come for 4 hours and
Well, no, if we put the public comment first, and all they want to do is attend so that they can be heard on some specific issue which is not on the agenda, that's fine, we can do that in the beginning, I have no problem with that. If they need an appointment time, such as, Michael O'Hare and Bob Powell, they come regularly, if they still want to come at their set appointment time, let's say we're in the middle of reports or business, what you do is you just suspend that while you have your scheduled appointment, and then you pick up where you left off when their time is up. That's typically how you would do that. Otherwise, we have a situation where we've had where someone comes and we schedule 15 minutes and they need 5. So then we have 10 minutes of lull. Do we do the minutes? Do we not do the minutes? We did the minutes, but we didn't approve them. We're always going back and forth,
And maybe I didn't answer my question, or ask my question clearly, but, okay, you had mentioned that we would go in this order with things, okay? And I just want to kind of understand it clearly. So when I have Central Kansas Mental Health, and I have all of these outside entities that are trying to get on the agenda, it's okay to go ahead and schedule them a time.
oh, yeah, I understand. We can't
That's
just
what
have people waiting.
Because the way this looks, it looks simplified, okay, but it looks like, well, it's whatever your term is, and how can we accommodate them that are trying to visit 5 counties in one day? Or,
I understand that. So if we adopt public comment first and foremost, and we start at 8 o'clock in the morning, we can say from 8 to 8:30 is public comment. That way, these people know if they don't want to hear any of that, they don't want to be a part of that, don't come until 8:30. At that time, we will talk about the agenda, the minutes, and the correspondence. And then, you can start scheduling appointments at, say, 9 o'clock, or even 8:45, or something like that, so that we have a section designated for the public comment. Maybe 15 minutes, that is a good increment thing, I think, that you have is the 15 minutes, and leave that to do our paperwork business that needs to be done. We have bills to pay sometimes, we have other things to approve. Get that done with the correspondence part, because anytime that you lay something on the desk, even if it's a bill, that's technically correspondence. If it's addressed to us and we need to, especially if we need to take action, but other things may not require action. So I would say you can get those done by the time schedule your first appointment then for 9 o'clock, and we will hold off on reports, because there may be someone that needs to give a report from a committee or something like that, and if not, we jump directly to old business, and if something needs discussed, it could be on the agenda as a topic, just like, if Steve Schneider wanted to schedule himself at 9 o'clock, fine. If not, you tell him we will have public comment in the first portion of it, and then we will do old business after we've done our paperwork. That kind of thing, and he can come and sit or schedule his time. I understand that Robert's Rules of Order is not strictly adhered to in many situations. However, the basic guideline is to help with efficiency and to alleviate some of the problems that we've been experiencing with back and forth on the same issues without any decision being made. This is from Saline County, from their commission, and although we are not nearly comparable to them, it's just a basic agenda, and they do have their public comment first, which I'm not opposed to that at all. Then they approve their agenda, in case there were changes, and then they approve the minutes, and then they actually have scheduled in, Dawn, right after that, the different people who will be coming in. The people about, you know, the road superintendent and the road, and bridge person, and then they have the county engineer, and so there's not a time there, but they're told that we will get to you after public comment and the agenda in a minute. So if we're designating a time for public comment, they know they don't have to be here until after that. And at that time, if we have one bill, we're done. If we have 3 letters, we do that, and et cetera. I mean, I don't think it's that invasive. And they just kept listing on then down to the end, the different people that were coming to speak, so they did make them wait, you know, and after that, the adjournment, but I would consider that to be old and new business, basically.
Speaking of Saline County, I don't know why I thought of this, but remember next Monday, you guys will canvass ballots at 10 a.m. starting at 10.
Thank you for saying that.
For canvassers, and then, as you guys said, you push the meeting to the afternoon appointments. I think that will probably be done by 10:30. I don't think it will take very long.
Tomorrow, the end of the,
Tomorrow at noon is the last.
Hey, Don, what's your name for that? Who counts these?
I have appointed people.
Okay.
No, it's just,
Nobody's answered that straight. Everybody back there like, oh.
well, nobody's called and asked me except for Alexis and a few other people.
Can people vote?
That I need to look at. Normally, no, they don't observe that part. I need to look. We can have full worker or full watchers, but they have to register ahead of time. So I need to look at that.
I actually just discussed this with Cheyenne County, because I had called them, and, I think that you have to have a sign-in sheet. So yes, you can come, but if you're going to be a spectator, then you have a sign-in sheet
You
set up
have to
there.
leave all your electronics out. You have to be quiet. You can't talk. You can't speak. If you do, if you're asked to leave, that's a normal full rusher. You can't touch. You can't physically see anything. So.
Now, how long will it take to count ballots? Will we know tomorrow night?
Well, we're hoping we'll be done by 2, but they're gonna start at 10 open. And then they'll run them in batches of 25.
just one question, so it shouldn't take too long.
It-
Take
no.
longer to open the
It
envelope.
may-
That's true, it's not that you have to calculate a lot of information there, it's a simple yes or no. Very true.
So, what time's the meeting next week gonna be then?
They will start at 10 a.m. as board of canvassers, and they won't conduct their business until they're done. I'm suspecting 10:30. Because mail ballot elections are a little bit different, so there's not as many provisional ballots, which is they're allowed to, they're allowed to come in and physically drive their, if there's an error on their ballot, they would be moved, they're allowed to do that and it be counted.
Anything else come before this commission today, before we adjourn?
Is there a decision on the agenda?
I would think about it till next week.
Why don't we try to have,
Well, next week's a bad time to start it anyhow with the different.
I think we need to start first of May myself, and we change the times, and that way we'll all be, everything will be,
Bang, 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 no, I know there's lunch break in between, for the most part.
We don't have to have a lunch break when we do go back to the 10 to 2. I mean, if you guys don't want a lunch break, you just have to tell me that. But I will say that I think we need to have a scheduled break,
you know,
Yeah.
because I don't know about you, but my bladder can't hardly handle.
Well, especially like on a long day like today, or like when we have those proposals come in and we didn't know we were gonna be here for an hour with that. That's, I mean, it is helpful, but on some days it's not necessary, so.
this commission stands adjourned until 10 o'clock Monday morning.
Is the board of health here, or are you guys?
I don't know where, she said the courthouse, but I don't know where she's meeting.
Yeah, I don't either.
I assume it's here.